Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Universal Wrestling Federation. In just a few moments, the athletes are coming to the ring. The Commissioner, John Ayers of the San Francisco 49ers. John, this match last week ended in a lot of controversy. I understand Chris Adams, as we all know, really wanted to re-sign. You've re-signed it with a very special clause, the time limit being 30 minutes.
Yes. Chris Adams came to me, and him being the gentleman that he is, he requested this rematch. And I think it's in the wrestling's best interest. It's in the best interest of the fans. And so we recently signed it. It's a one-fall, 30-minute time limit.
It should be a great one, ladies and gentlemen. One fall, 30. Magnum, any pre-match comments, any pre-match predictions, perhaps?
Well, I predict that there's going to be a lot of frustrations possibly taken out of this match. Both these men seem to have their differences. I've noticed a big attitude change in Terry Taylor, so we're just going to watch this very closely, and we should see a tremendous scientific wrestling match.
Remember, everybody, it's one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Now let's go up to Mike Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to my right, from Vero Beach, Florida, at 238 pounds, Terry Taylor. Also introducing to my left at 240 pounds from Stratford, gentleman, Chris Adams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the introductions have been concluded. Commissioner John Ayers sitting here at ringside with us. Magnum TA and Jim Ross here with you. And Magnum, I am really looking forward to this one. This is going to be a classic.
Well, it's a tremendous rematch, and to have a match of this caliber here on television for everybody to see out there in the wrestling world, it's just going to be a whole lot of excitement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with... I thought we were going to take a break. We are going to stick with this match here. That we will have to fulfill some television commitments. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Taylor and gentleman Chris Adams. Remember, it was Adams who wanted the rematch because he did not like the way that he won the match last week here on the Universal Wrestling Federation. I think that was most admirable of gentleman Chris Adams.
Well, yes, you know, Adams has always been an up-and-up competitor. He's never needed anybody to give him a victory. He's always earned his victories in the ring, and I'm sure he wants a decisive win over Terry Taylor. That's the only way he wants his hand raised.
Back into the ropes they go. Clean break by Chris Adams. Carl Fergie, senior referee of the Universal Wrestling Federation, assigned this very important contest. And remember, next week here on the Universal Wrestling Federation, the commissioner will be with us and will be revealing the new updated top 10, and it will be based on new criteria that we'll be talking to Commissioner Ayers about here next week. But with those thoughts in mind, Magnum, the new top 10, this particular match has a very significant bearing on those rankings next week.
Yes, with a big change up in the top 10, everybody's got to be very concerned about their win-loss record. And a match of this caliber with the two athletes such as are in the ring right now, these men have to have that weighing heavily on their mind as they're competing right now.
Near fall, count of two. Chris Adams with a side headlock, perfectly executed. His weight on the neck of Terry Taylor's neck is crimped. Adams' perfect position. Terry Taylor and Chris Adams back and forth. I think we're going to see a lot of momentum changes here, Magnum.
Yes, we are. You know, both these men are so finely conditioned, it's going to be quite a while before we have a fatigue factor come into play. And we're going to see a lot of counter wrestling. We're going to see a lot of strategy. I'm really looking forward to watching this match myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back after this brief timeout. Terry Taylor and Chris Adams. That's a very painful maneuver there, Mag.
Yes, a great deal of strain going on the shoulder right now, and Terry's trying to position himself, trying to find a way to come out of this particular hold. And there he comes up with a nice leg trip and gets himself right out of trouble.
Both men very quickly back to their feet. I'll tell you, we'll be talking about some rules changes that the men have been notified of. We'll be talking about those rules changes as the hour progresses. Commissioner John Ayers has made a very I think, stamped the mark of approval by a lot of wrestling experts, because he has made some changes, he has signed some matches, and he's doing things that are really shaking up the wrestling world, proving once again that the Universal Wrestling Federation is, without a doubt, the #1 wrestling organization in the world today.
Well, this thing is, these rule changes, these things we're talking about, are making these matches the high caliber they are. They're keeping the matches as exciting and competitive as can be seen anywhere in the world. And with these top caliber athletes here in the UWF, that's what you need to keep the competition on the up and up.
We'd like to remind everybody to be with us in Shreveport, Louisiana. National television taping this Sunday night in the Tulsa Convention Center. Another national television taping. Nice slam by Terry Taylor. Adams reverses his back on the offense, and Taylor really felt that to the lower part of his back.
You see Terry backing up in that corner, trying to catch his wind a little bit. He knows he just took a pretty bad fall there, and he's wanting to regroup before he jumps back in there in the battle, because Chris Adams is not a man that can be taken lightly at any time. Chris Adams right back on that line. He knows he's getting it weakened a little bit, and he's keeping the pressure on him. That's what he's got to do. He's got to find that one part of the body where he can find the weakness. He can continue to wear it down, keep punishing his opponent until he can finally get him in that submission hold that he would like to eventually get.
Referee Carl Fergie keeping a very close eye on this situation, monitoring Terry Taylor, because it's Taylor that can give up here. And if he does, Chris Adams will move most certainly very high in the top 10 rankings, as the commissioner is sitting here beside me. Number 68 of the 49ers. And Chris Adams with a very unorthodox maneuver, but a pinning predicament here to count of 2.
But you see the tempers flaring just a little bit here. Terry's got to be feeling a little bit of frustration, because at every counter here, it seems like Chris Adams is coming up with a way to get out of whatever Terry wants to put him in. And you can see the pain factor starting to tell its toll right there on his arm.
Frustration. I hope it's not bitter anger with Terry Taylor at this point in time. Frustration, I think Magnum had it very adeptly described there. Nice, firmly secured wrist lock. And now Adams, Taylor back to their feet. Both men back into the ropes. The referee calling for the break. Not exactly a clean break, but down goes Taylor for the football tackle. Leapfrog, the action is fast in the UWF. What a great maneuver, Taylor to leapfrog, and Adams with a power slam, and Taylor's foot is on the rope.
Well, you know, Terry went to the well one too many times there with that leapfrog, and Chris Adams was right there to counter, and that slam definitely cost Terry Taylor.
Taylor now on the defensive here, most certainly. As Chris Adams staying back, Taylor's in the ropes. Adams, the true sportsman. I guess of a lot of nicknames, Gentleman Chris Adams certainly fits this young man.
Well, that certainly wasn't a very gentlemanly move right there by Terry Taylor. A man who had backed off to give him a little breathing room, received a knee right to the midsection, and I'm sure Chris Adams wasn't expecting that.
Nice elbow by Terry Taylor. We'll be taking a local break, ladies and gentlemen, inside 30 seconds here on the program. If we do have a decision rendered while we're in the break, we will show it to you as soon as we return. Great move. And near fall there, Fergie down very quickly, and Taylor getting that shoulder up. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of this exciting television main event after this brief timeout. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Ross and Magnum TA at ringside alongside the UWF Commissioner, San Francisco 49ers, John Ayers. Magnum, this one is seesawing back and forth, but right now I've got to think Chris Adams has the upper hand.
Well, I've got to say it's been a tremendous amount of back and forth wrestling, but it seems to me that Chris Adams is controlling the pace of this wrestling match. Seems like Terry Taylor is sort of having a little bit of a frustration, something mentally he's having to deal with out there, and it seems like he's having a little bit of a hard time keeping his cool, and Chris Adams has definitely been able to capitalize on that whenever possible.
Adams with that side headlock. He's used that maneuver quite frequently in this contest thus far. Oh, Taylor went for the elbow but missed. And Adams trying to duck under, but Taylor fell back. Adams' momentum took Taylor back, and now Adams trying to take Taylor over. Taylor with a great move.
Well, that took a tremendous amount of strength right there. Terry Taylor turning the momentum in the opposite direction there, utilizing that suplex, dumping Chris Adams back on his head there. This could change the tide of the match right here.
Both men in excellent condition. They know the stakes in this one are extremely high. And they're back to their feet. Taylor.
Another tremendous suplex. Terry Taylor has found his niche right here, and he's going to work on Chris Adams, continuing to punish the back of the net. And I can see right now there's going to be no let-up in his attack on Chris Adams.
Taylor with a vicious knee drop to the head of Chris Adams, floating over, grabbing the leg. And a count of 2, the referee signifies. And now, as we said earlier, the momentum would switch. It has. It was Taylor. Can Adams get him over? Yes, he can. In a pinning predicament. And another 2 count. This one's got me coming out of my seat. The people here are enthralled in this match. They are, I mean, glued to the squared circle. And we hope that you are glued to your television set at home, and we thank you for being with us.
We know, Jim Ross, in a very short period of time, it's amazing the amount of punishment that both men have received in this television match. These men have not slowed up on their attack one little bit. Haven't really seen any one advantage point, and it looks like right now Terry Taylor is taking the attack to Chris Adams. They're setting him up with big side saltos, and he might have him wearing down a little bit right here. That had to knock the wind out of him pretty good.
Adams kicking out with all the strength that he has. Taylor and Adams. Inside cradle. Taylor, and I thought Adams had him there, Magnum.
It was very close. You know, that referee, Carl Fergie, doing a tremendous job diving in there, checking those shoulders, and that's what you had to do when you have 2 men moving this quick with that many aggressive maneuvers on the ring. Beautiful backdrop by Chris Adams. They keep going seesawing back and forth. This is just like a big physical game of chess, and the stakes are so very, very high.
Taylor backing into the corner there, and Adams is laying back a little. He's a sportsman. He exhibited that last week, even as if we didn't know. He is a tremendous sportsman at all times. But Taylor getting back to the sanctuary of that corner and bearing the knee as Adams came in.
Well, you know, you've got to hand it to Adams. He has given Terry Taylor the benefit of the doubt on every occasion here in this match. But he's definitely showing that he's got the wrestling integrity and the drive to do whatever it takes to defeat Terry Taylor here in this match.
Adams has overcome so many personal adversities. It's a tribute for him to be here and to be in this situation. And what a knee lift. That echoed here at the convention center. And Taylor now has backed into the corner and outside the ring.
Now, this is very unlike a Terry Taylor that I know. Using the outside of the ring to take a breath, go out there, catch his wind a little bit. I know that the battle has been quite furious up until this point, but there's other ways to outmaneuver your opponent than use the ropes and get outside the ring to call for a break.
It's a very uncharacteristic way for Terry Taylor to change the momentum or slow the momentum down by exiting and leaving the ring. Adams right back on the attack. And if this was being scored on as in boxing by rounds, I would have to say at this point in time in this contest that Chris Adams would have the slight advantage, in my opinion.
Well, I would have to say that Chris Adams has Terry Taylor in more near-fall situations up until this point than we have seen Terry have Chris in. But they have both received a great deal of punishment, and only time will tell how that physical abuse is going to affect them later on in the match.
Adams reverse chin lock. The referee checking Terry Taylor. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, exciting UWF action coming Wednesday, May 27th, Oklahoma City's Myriad. Thursday, May 28th, Tulsa Fairgrounds. Saturday, May 30th, Monroe Civic Center, Monroe, Louisiana, national television taping. Sunday, May 31st, Little Rock Barton Coliseum, another national television taping. We'll have more information on upcoming UWF events later in this hour, but back to this main event. Back into the corner.
Well, you know, Jim Ross, I thought that Chris Adams had Terry in a lot of trouble there, but Terry sucked it up deep down from inside somewhere and found some strength to come back from that rear chin lock that was really sapping the strength right at him. A very powerful right hand just executed by Terry Taylor, sending Chris Adams reeling to the canvas. And that was a closed fist. I did view that with my own eyes.
Well, I'll tell you something. Terry Taylor has done several things thus far that are very uncharacteristic for him, including having a confrontation with the official and using a closed fist in this, what we thought would be, well, a little different kind of contest. And Adams behind with a sleeper. This could be it right here. This could be it right here. The sleep hold. And Terry Taylor is in trouble, and he is in the center of the ring.
Yes, and if Terry Taylor doesn't do something very, very quickly, if he doesn't make his way to those ropes, if he doesn't find a way to counter this particular hold, it could all be over right here for Terry Taylor.
The fatigue factor added to the devastation nature of this particular maneuver adds to the fact that Terry Taylor is moments away, seemingly, from losing this contest.
Jim Ross, I think the man's in a lot of trouble right here. I don't see Terry Taylor moving at all, and Chris Adams still has that sleeper hold firmly locked on.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this match that the Commissioner Ayers has signed is one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Very unusual, but very, I think, great for the fans. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to leave this situation, but we must take a break and fulfill our commercial commitments to your station, but we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Taylor's foot is in the ropes, and Chris Adams has been forced to break the maneuver. We're back on UWF Wrestling. Magnum TA and Jim Ross calling the action from ringside. And Taylor, who is in deep trouble and has got this, but Taylor with a cheap shot.
Well, you know, you had to wonder if Terry Taylor might have just been playing possum there a little bit. The man definitely seemed to be laying back in that corner to catch his wind a little bit, and then he lunged forward into the midsection of Chris Adams. I don't know. It's just hard to call this one.
Terry Taylor has Chris Adams up, a powerful body slam. Taylor with the elbow. And Adams moves out of the way. Luckily for him, Magnum.
Yes, that elbow could have done a great deal of damage, but Chris Adams is still very much aware. And there it is, a big backslide. This could be it. It could be that. Not very close. Very, very close indeed.
Another inside cradle. The referee down very quickly, and Taylor's shoulder is up. And Taylor with a vicious forearm. I mean, he tried to take Adams out of his boots on that one.
It was a tremendous blow, but it was a forearm, and that is a legal blow. They're getting very aggressive in here now because I think both men are feeling, and deep down inside, that the end may be somewhere near in sight, and they're going in for the kill.
Taylor with the flat of the foot. A legal maneuver, the forearm. And now Adams is really fighting fire with fire. Chris Adams is really fighting fire with fire. And Taylor using the flat of his foot again, and now the elbow. Adams with a headbutt. Man, what a battle we've got in the UWF.
Unbelievable the blows that are being thrown right now in this match. It seems that both these men are taking each other to the very limit of their athletic ability. And there are beautiful flying clothesline exhibited by Chris Adams. He needs to cover Terry Taylor right now, though, because the man doesn't need to be given any more opportunity than necessary to rest. And a nice headbutt to the chest area. He needs to get Terry Taylor on his back.
Just the right high-impact maneuver, as fatigued as these men are, I think, to decide. And Taylor falling out of the ring into the railing. Taylor seemingly near exhaustion. Adams back in the ring. He's got that middle edge, I think, now. He's on his feet. He's ready for war, and he's waiting patiently for Terry Taylor.
But it looks as though Chris Adams has found his second wind, and it looks as though Terry Taylor is having the fatigue factor finally catch up with him. I told you it was only a matter of time before the punishment these two men have taken was going to take its toll on him, and it seems to be doing that right now to Terry Taylor.
That was an unusual maneuver, a leg sweep, and I've seen Adams use that before. Taylor with a headbutt. I don't know. It hurt Taylor perhaps as much as it hurt Chris Adams.
Well, it definitely had to be damaging to both men, but it seems Terry was the lesser of the two as far as the injury goes. And down we see Chris trying to gather his composure and get back to his feet.
Taylor attempting the body slam, but Adams cradling Terry Taylor. Taylor, and Taylor kicks out. I mean, we've got 2.5 on that one.
Very, very close indeed. I'm telling you, the referee's doing a tremendous job calling. There are nice clotheslines set up by Terry Taylor. I mean, it's just this battle is seesawing back and forth. There's no way you can call any one of these two men that's clearly in an advantage point.
Taylor now coming back. Taylor coming up the outside of the ropes, up to the top rope, and Chris Adams is up to his feet. Here comes a big slam, all the way off the top rope. And that may be that impact maneuver we were talking about. That could have turned the tide right there, Magnum.
Yes, it could, you know, but Terry Taylor turned his attention away from the ring for just a moment. He thought he had Chris Adams right where he wanted him, but now Chris Adams is taking it right back to him. He's delivering all that punishment, all of it right back on Terry Taylor right now, and I'm sure he's thinking about how he's going to get out of this just by the skin of his teeth, and that's what he did right there by putting his foot over that rope and saving himself.
The hand was coming down for the fatal 3 count. And Taylor's foot went over the bottom rope. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take another break here. I understand we're going to stay right with it. Terry Taylor and gentleman Chris Adams. They have battled and battled here in the Universal Wrestling Federation, and it has been a tremendous confrontation. One fall, 30, the referee down. Oh! Fergie and Adams collided there. I think their heads cracked.
A tremendous collision here. The referee, trying to get out of the way of the action, was unable to move fast enough. And now we have our stunned Chris Adams out on the floor.
When the referee saw Adams coming, he dropped down to get away from him. But when he came back up, I think their heads met. But now Taylor, who has checked on Carl Fergie's status, and now Taylor hopefully will help Chris back in the ring. But Taylor kicking away.
What's he doing there? What is Terry?
Taylor!
It's a pile driver.
My gosh, he's pile driving around the concrete floor. Adams.
What has come over Terry Taylor?
Taylor now coming back in the ring. The referee is counting both men. The referee is counting both men. But Taylor, you talk about playing possum, and you talk about showing some colors that we've never seen before. Terry Taylor has pile driven Chris Adams on the concrete, and Taylor is back to his feet as if he would have any trouble. Adams, they can count to 100. The crowd here voicing their displeasure, and rightfully so. We need to get medical attention from Magnum TA, but we have a winner. It's Terry Taylor and Magnum TA, and I'll be right back with more after this timeout. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Universal Wrestling Federation. We've seen a tremendous matchup between Terry Taylor and gentleman Chris Adams. Great effort exhibited by both men. But what we have seen is very, very uncharacteristic of the Terry Taylor that these fans and I have known for a long, long time.
I don't know if it's uncharacteristic. You see me win almost every time I've been in the ring, and I won tonight. It's no different.
The difference is when you went out of the ring last week, Chris Adams helped you back in the ring.
Right.
As a sportsman, he helped you back in the ring.
Yeah, and then when he went out, I helped him back in, and it got me counted out. Where the nice guys finish there, Jim? These top 10 ratings, I hear Ayers out here, to the Commissioner Ayers, excuse me, I want to be respectful, but he's out here talking about everybody being in the top 10. I'm way up there around 8 or 9. It's time for me to start moving down. Bubba Rogers knows I can beat him. I guess Chris Adams knows now I can beat him. Right or wrong?
Let's put this in a whole different light. I've known you for a long, long time.
Best friends.
Long time.
Right.
Now, do you honestly want to stand here and tell me you feel good about the way you just took that victory over Chris Adams?
Sure. A win is a win, Magnum. You know that. I never got hot at you when we were tagging
a win is a win wasn't that way for the Terry Taylor on you. That Terry Taylor must be dead.
Maybe that wreck affected you or something, brother. I don't know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back in time and look at the videotape. Let's look at the videotape, and we'll hear more comments after you see it again.
Down. Oh! Fergie and Adams collided. I think their heads cracked.
A tremendous collision here. The referee, trying to get out of the way of the action, was unable to move fast enough. And now we have our stunned Chris Adams out on the floor.
When the referee saw Adams coming, he dropped down to get away from him. But when he came back up, I think their heads met. But now Taylor, who has checked on Carl Fergie's status, and now Taylor hopefully will help Chris back in the ring. But Taylor kicking away.
What's he doing there? What is Taylor? It's a pile driver.
My gosh, he's piled right around the concrete floor. Adams.
What has come over Terry Taylor?
Taylor now coming back in the ring. The referee is counting both men. The referee is counting both men. But Taylor, you talk about playing possum, and you talk about showing some colors that we've never seen before. Terry Taylor has pile driven Chris Adams on the concrete, and Taylor is back to his feet as if he would have any trouble. Adams, they can count to 100. The crowd here voicing their displeasure, and rightfully so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've all seen it once again. We see the same thing happen again. It was uncalled for what you did to Chris Adams. Pile drive. I'm not on his back. You get off. I'm calling like I see it. I'm not on his back.
You get off his back. I tell you what, Terry Taylor, I tell you what, I've known you for a long, long time. I've wrestled a lot of hard matches against you. Quit listening to people like Magnum TA, Jim Ross, all these hicks out here. You're a great athlete, and I recognize that.
You're right.
So, what I want to tell you is, I think you're so tremendous and so great, I really think you need a person like me to guide your career.
Someday I had a change of heart. I don't need you, and I don't need any of y'all either.
Wait. Hold it. I just want you to remember one thing, though. If you ever need me, I'll always be here, okay?
Well, now you're really getting a lot of great friends now.
And you're a great friend, right? You're judging me like that?
I have been your friend for a long time, as has this man. I'm not turning on you, but why did you do what you did to Chris Adams? That's the question.
You're sitting there pointing the finger at me. Don't judge it that you've been in here.
I've been in there, and I've been in there with you, and that isn't the man that I've known for a long time that I used to have respect for. That must be history.
Well, I'm getting real choked up here. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, you guys, that you don't see it the way I do. It's breaking my heart, but I gotta go.
Well, that suits me. Magnum, I don't know what words can sum it up. You've been in the ring with Terry Taylor. You traveled many, many miles with this man in your wrestling career. Tag team partners, the whole gambit. It's hard to explain what's going on in his head.
Terry Taylor is still a tremendous wrestling athlete. But what made him great was what he had inside, and that was that heart. And that heart isn't there anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the Universal Wrestling Federation, we will have Commissioner John Ayers in the new UWF Top 10. You'll see rookie sensation Steve Cox take on Iceman King Parsons. Many more great matches, including Big Bubba Rogers, the Universal Heavyweight Champion. You'll also see the Universal World Tag Team Champions, Rick Steiner and Sting in action. Barry Windham will be back with us here next week on the Universal Wrestling Federation. And Magnum TA will be back at ringside right here next week on UWF Action. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm Jim Ross. We'll see you next week for more UWF Action.